I was there before the metal screamed, before the glass shattered into 1,000 diamonds on the asphalt, and before your heart stopped for that one eternal second that felt like a lifetime. My beloved child, lean your head back and just breathe for a moment, for I am the very air filling your lungs. You have been walking through a valley of shadows, carrying a weight that was never meant for your shoulders. I have seen you sitting in your car, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight your knuckles turned white, while tears you refused to let fall blurred your vision. I heard the silent scream of your soul as you looked at the stack of bills on the passenger seat and wondered how you would make it through another week. But I want you to know something profound. I have never once looked away from you. That moment on the road when the other car swerved, when the brakes felt like they might not hold, when time seemed to stretch and warp, that was my hand. I was the invisible force that nudged your steering wheel by a mere inch. I was the sudden clarity that entered your mind to steer away from the edge. I didn't just save your life in that moment, I reclaimed it. You are not a product of chance, and you are certainly not a victim of circumstance. You are my masterpiece, and I am not finished with the story I am writing through you. I know the nights have been long. I have watched you toss and turn, the spirit of anxiety whispering lies into your ear about your worth and your future. It tells you that you are alone, that the world is closing in, and that the financial walls are crumbling beyond repair. But my child, I own the cattle on 1,000 hills, and the gold and silver are mine. Do you truly think a bank statement can hinder the King of Kings? I am opening doors that no man can shut, and I am closing doors that would have led you to ruin. The miracle you have been pleading for isn't just coming, it is already in motion. Think of the near miss on that road as a sign of my sovereignty. If I can command the physics of a speeding vehicle to protect you, can I not also command the resources of the universe to provide for you? Your loneliness is a lie of the enemy. Even when the house is silent and the phone doesn't ring, the room is thick with my presence. I am the friend who sticks closer than a brother, the father who never leaves, and the comforter who understands the words you cannot even form. You have worried about being a burden, about failing those you love, and about the what-ifs that haunt your peace. Cast those cares upon me now. I am strong enough to carry them all. Look at your hands, I have ordained every work they will do. Look at your feet, I have paved the path before you. The danger you faced was a reminder that your time here is precious and purposeful. I spared you because there is a glory I wish to reveal through your life that hasn't been seen yet. There are people only you can reach, words only you can speak, and a love only you can demonstrate. Do not let the fear of tomorrow rob you of the miracle of today. I am moving in your bank account, I am moving in your relationships, and I am moving in your very body to bring healing where there has been only pain. When you feel the panic rising, remember the silence of that moment on the road when I stepped in. That same power is available to you every second of every day. You are my beloved in whom I am well pleased. I do not love a future, perfect version of you. I love you exactly as you are in the midst of your mess and your worry. I am your refuge and your strength, a very present help in trouble. Rest now, my child. The battle is mine and the victory is already yours. I have seen the end from the beginning, and I promise you, it is beautiful. You will not only survive this season, you will emerge with a testimony that will light the way for others who are lost in the dark. Trust me with the finances, trust me with the loneliness, and trust me with your life. I have never failed you, and I am not about to start now. The scent of ozone and burnt rubber lingered in the air that day, a physical reminder of the thin veil between worlds. I was the hand that steadied your heart when the tires lost their grip on the rain-slicked pavement. You heard the roar of the wind and the screech of metal, but beneath it all, you heard the hum of my grace. I didn't just prevent a collision, I rewrote the laws of physics for a moment to ensure you would walk away. Why do you doubt that I can do the same for your current storm? I see you sitting at that wooden table, the one with the scratch on the corner from when you moved in, staring at the stack of envelopes. I am the one who provides the bread on that table, and I am the one who will provide the means to keep the roof over your head. I am orchestrating a series of events behind the scenes that you cannot yet perceive. There is a man in an office 3 towns away who has your name on a list he was about to discard, but I am prompting him to look again. There is a woman you haven't spoken to in years who is suddenly feeling a deep urge to reach out to you with an offer that will solve a problem you've been keeping secret. I am the God of the unexpected. I am the God who makes a way where there is no way. When you feel that sharp pull in your lower back, the one that makes you wince every time you stand, remember that I am the great architect who designed every vertebrae. I am sending my healing light to knit together what has been frayed. I am calming the inflammation in your nerves. You will feel a warmth tonight, a gentle heat that radiates through your spine. That is my touch. I am doing this because I love you, not because you earned it. You keep trying to qualify for my favor, as if your works could ever add to the infinite love I already have for you. Stop the striving. Your value is not found in your productivity or the zeros in your bank account. Your value is found in the fact that you are mine. I remember the night you cried yourself to sleep when you were 12, feeling like the world was too big and you were too small. I was there then, and I am here now. I am the bridge between your childhood fears and your adult anxieties. I am clearing the path. I see the relationship that feels like a constant uphill battle, the one where you give and receive nothing but silence or criticism in return. I am the one who will fill your cup so you no longer have to beg for drops of affection from broken cisterns. I am softening the heart of that person, but more importantly, I am strengthening yours. You are no longer a victim of their moods. You are a sovereign child of the Most High. I am giving you a new perspective on your finances. You see lack, but I see a seedbed. I am teaching you the rhythm of the harvest. What you have in your hand is small, but what I have in my plan is vast. Do not be afraid of the numbers. Numbers are subject to my command. I am multiplying your resources in ways that defy logic. You will find money in places you forgot you put it. You will find discounts you didn't ask for. You will find that your needs are met with a precision that can only be described as divine. I am even now speaking to your employer, or the one who is about to become your employer. I am highlighting your skills and your integrity. You have been overlooked for too long, but the season of being hidden is over. I am bringing you into the light. Think back to the moment of the accident, how time seemed to stretch, how the light seemed to turn a golden hue that wasn't from the sun. That was the Kairos moment, a sliver of eternity breaking into your chronological time. I am bringing more Kairos moments into your week. You will experience coincidences that are so specific they will make you laugh out loud. You will see my signature on the sunset and hear my voice in the song of a bird when you are at your lowest. I am restoring your wonder. The world has tried to make you cynical, to make you believe that everything is random and cruel. But I am the author of beauty. I am the one who colors the petals of the lilies you walk past. I am the one who keeps the stars in their courses. If I can hold the universe together, I can certainly hold your life together. I am touching the areas of your mind where trauma has left deep grooves. I am smoothing them out. I am replacing the loops of what if with the steady pulse of I am. You are safe. You are protected. You are deeply, profoundly cherished. I see the way you look at the old photograph of yourself, the one from before the world got heavy, and you wonder if that person is gone forever. I tell you, that person is not gone. They are being transformed into someone even more resilient and radiant. The fire you've been walking through hasn't burned you. It has only consumed the ropes that were binding you. You are freer than you've ever been, even if you don't feel it yet. Look at your hands. They are the hands of a conqueror. Use them to bless, use them to create, and use them to reach out to me. I am never more than a whisper away. When the noise of the world gets too loud, retreat into the secret place of my presence. I am your sanctuary. I am the wall of fire around you. No weapon formed against you shall prosper, not because you are perfect, but because I am your shield. I am working out the details of the legal matter, the insurance claim, the medical report. I am the final word. The doctors have their opinions, but I have the truth. The banks have their policies, but I have the provision. Rest your head on my shoulder. The battle you are fighting is already won in the heavens. I am just waiting for the earthly manifestation to catch up. And it will. It will be swifter than you think. You will look back at this day, this very moment of reading these words, and you will see it as the turning point. The clouds are breaking. The sun is rising. Your testimony is being written in the ink of my faithfulness. Trust the process. Trust the timing. Trust the love that would move heaven and earth just to keep you from harm. You are my greatest joy, and my plans for you are only for good, to give you a future and a hope that far exceeds your wildest imagination. Keep walking. I am right here. Do you remember the specific shade of the sky just before the impact? It was a pale, uncertain blue, the kind that speaks of transition. I was there in that light. I saw the other vehicle before you did. I saw the trajectory of the metal and the inevitability of the collision in the physical realm. But I also saw the hedge of protection that I have woven around your life since before you were born. When the sound of screeching tires filled the air, that piercing, violent noise that still echoes in your ears when it gets too quiet, I was the silence at the center of the storm. I was the one who adjusted the angle by mere inches. You think it was luck or quick reflexes, but it was my finger pressing against the frame of your world. I saw the way your heart hammered against your ribs, a frantic bird seeking escape. I reached in and steadied that heart. Even as the glass turned into 1,000 diamonds scattered across the upholstery, I ensured that not a single shard found a home where it could do permanent damage. Think of the smell of the air afterward, the scent of deployed airbags and burnt rubber. It was a scent of survival. I was there when you first tried to move your fingers and toes, that terrifying moment of checking if you were still whole. I whispered into your spirit then, though you were too shocked to hear it clearly. I have you. I am still saying it now. I see the stack of papers on your kitchen table, the medical bills that seem to grow like weeds, and the insurance forms with their cold, clinical language. Do not let those papers define your reality. They are merely shadows. I am the substance. I am working through the mind of the adjuster who looks at your file. I am the one who brings your name to the top of the pile when favor is needed. I am the one who silences the accusations and the blame. You worry about the long-term effects, the way your back twinges when you bend, or the way your mind fogs when you try to concentrate on the details of the claim. I am the great restorer. I am moving through your nervous system, calming the hypervigilance that makes you jump at loud noises. I am the peace that surpasses understanding, and I am settling it deep into your marrow. You are not just recovering, you are being reinvented. I am using this pause, this forced deceleration of your life, to show you things you were too busy to see. I am showing you the depth of the love of those around you. I am showing you the fragility of the mundane and the glory of the ordinary. Every breath you take now is a gift you recognize, a prayer without words. I am the one who stands between you and the what-ifs that haunt your sleep. What if I had left 5 minutes later? What if I hadn't braked? I shut the mouths of those lions. There is no what if in my kingdom, only I am. I am the one who was, who is, and who is to come. I am already in your tomorrow, clearing the wreckage and preparing the way. I see the anxiety you feel when you have to get back behind the wheel, the way your palms sweat and your breath becomes shallow. I am in the passenger seat. I am the one steadying your hands. We will take it 1 mile at a time, one intersection at a time, until the road is no longer a place of fear but a place of journeying with me. I am even in the details of the vehicle replacement. You worry about the cost, the loss of value, the inconvenience of the rental. I am the provider. I know what you need before you ask. I have resources you haven't even considered. I am opening a way where there seems to be no way. This is not just about a car accident. It is about a life collision where my grace met your vulnerability. I am using this to strengthen your foundation. You will look back and see that the insurance payout, the medical clearance, and the legal resolution were just the outward signs of an inward miracle. I am healing the hidden places, the old wounds that this accident broke open. I am the balm of Gilead. I am applying my love to the bruises of your past that this event brought to the surface. You are my masterpiece, and I am not finished with the canvas. The colors might seem dark right now, the strokes heavy and chaotic, but I am the master artist. I am creating a vista of hope that will leave you breathless. Do not rush to the end of the story. Stay with me in this middle part. There is a sweetness in the dependence that you can only find when you are weak. My strength is made perfect in this very weakness. When you feel like you can't handle one more phone call or one more appointment, lean back. Let me carry the weight. I am not tired. I never slumber. I am the watchman of your soul. Your future is not compromised. It is secured. The enemy meant to sideline you, to steal your joy and your momentum, but I am using this to catapult you into a new level of awareness. You are more resilient than you know because my resilience is within you. Keep your eyes on me, not the speedometer, not the rear-view mirror. Look forward to the horizon where my light is breaking. I am doing a new thing. Can you not perceive it? It is springing up even in the midst of the insurance claims and the doctor's offices. It is a new song, a new confidence, a new grace. I am with you in the quiet of the car, in the noise of the courtroom, in the sterility of the clinic. I am the constant. I am the shield. I am your father, and I love you with an everlasting love. We are walking through this together, and we will come out on the other side with a story that will light up the darkness for others. Just keep walking. I am right here, and I am not letting go. Think back to that specific moment when the world tilted, and the symphony of your daily commute was replaced by the terrifying percussion of folding metal. You felt the jolt, the sudden displacement of air, and for a heartbeat, time became fluid, stretching thin like a ribbon in the wind. I was there, existing in the millisecond between the impact and the stillness. I was the unseen hand that adjusted the angle of your seat, the invisible cushion that softened the blow against the glass, and the quiet whisper that told your heart to keep beating when the shock threatened to stall it. You remember the smell of the ozone and the white dust from the airbag, a haze that felt like a veil between this world and the next. In that fog, I held you. I was the breath you didn't know you could still take. Even now, when you close your eyes and the sound of screeching tires echoes in the hollows of your mind, I am the silence that follows, the peace that surpasses understanding. You wonder why you are still here, looking at the photos of a vehicle that no one should have walked away from. You look at the tangled wreckage and see a graveyard of steel, but I look at you and see a temple that I have preserved. Your life is not a series of accidents or coincidences. It is a carefully composed melody, and I am the maestro who refused to let the music end prematurely. Do not let the trauma tell you that you are fragile. You are forged in fire and protected by my decree. I saw the stranger in the faded yellow jacket who stopped to pull the door open, the one whose name you never caught but whose eyes reflected a calm that wasn't of this earth. I sent him. I saw the way your hands shook as you reached for your phone, trying to remember the numbers of those you love. I was the one steadying your fingers. You are worried about the logistics now, the mounting bills, the the replacement of what was lost, the physical therapy that feels like a mountain you cannot climb. But listen to me. I am the provider who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. If I could snatch you from the jaws of a high-speed collision, do you not think I can navigate the paperwork of an insurance claim? Do you not think I can mend the soft tissue and the jagged nerves? Your body is a masterpiece of my design, and I am the great physician, overseeing every stitch of your recovery. This interruption was not a detour from your destiny. It was a divine intervention that redirected your gaze. You were running so fast, chasing shadows and milestones, that you had forgotten the weight of your own soul. Now, in the forced stillness of your recovery, I am reintroducing you to the person I created you to be. You are discovering a strength that doesn't rely on your muscles, but on my spirit. Every ache you feel is a reminder that you are alive, a testimony that my grace is sufficient. When the night grows long and the what-ifs start to circle like vultures, what if the truck had been a foot closer? What if the rain had been heavier? What if you hadn't left the house a minute late? I want you to silence those voices with the truth of my presence. I am the Lord of the even if and the nevertheless. Even if the worst had happened, I would have been there, but my purpose for you required your presence on this side of eternity. You have words yet to speak that will heal the brokenhearted. You have hands that will lift others from their own wreckage. You have a perspective now that is seasoned with the salt of survival. Do not rush through this season of healing. There is a sacredness in the slow pace. In the moments when you are sitting in the waiting room, surrounded by the sterile scent of the clinic, look around. There are others there who are drowning in fear, who haven't yet felt the grip of my hand. Your very existence in that room is a beacon of hope. Your smile, though weary, is a miracle. I am weaving a new garment for you, one made of resilience and deep-seated joy that doesn't depend on circumstances. The enemy thought he could take you out, but he only succeeded in giving you a platform. Your story is becoming a weapon against the darkness. Every time you tell of how you were spared, you are pushing back the shadows in someone else's life. I am refining your vision so that you no longer see your days as mundane, but as precious gifts. The sunrise looks different now, doesn't it? The laughter of your children or the touch of a loved one's hand has a weight it didn't have before the accident. That is the clarity of the redeemed. I am stripping away the superficial and leaving you with the eternal. We are building something beautiful from the debris. The scars, whether on your skin or your psyche, are not badges of shame. They are marks of a survivor who is deeply loved by the Creator. Trust the process of the mending. Trust the rhythm of the breath I have returned to you. I am not a distant observer of your pain. I am an intimate participant in your restoration. I am walking through the hallways of your memories, tidying up the closets of fear, and throwing open the windows to let in the light of my hope. You are safe. You are held. You are going to do more than just survive this. You are going to thrive because the power that raised Christ from the dead is the same power that is currently knitting your life back together, stronger than it was before the impact. Think of the first time you stood in your kitchen after coming home from the hospital, the silence of the house feeling heavier than it ever had before. You reached for a simple glass of water, and as your fingers closed around the cool surface, you felt a tremor you couldn't quite suppress. In that moment, I was the strength in your grip. I was the quiet assurance that whispered through the marrow of your bones, telling you that you were home because I willed it so. You are beginning to see the world through a lens of filtered gold. The mundane tasks, folding the laundry, the smell of fresh coffee, the rhythm of the wind against the eaves, are no longer background noise to a busy life. They are the liturgy of your second chance. Do you remember the moment of the crash, that split second where time seemed to stretch like taffy, turning the chaotic spin into a slow-motion dance of shadow and light? You felt a sudden, inexplicable coolness, a padding of the air itself that shielded you from the jagged edges of what should have been. That was my hand. I was the invisible barrier between the metal and your fragile frame. I dispatched my messengers to stand at the four corners of your vehicle, holding back the full weight of the destruction. Even now, when you close your eyes and the flash of those headlights returns to haunt your vision, I am there in the memory with you, replacing the terror with the truth of my presence. You are learning the language of the extraordinary ordinary. You find yourself lingering longer in the garden, watching the way the ants navigate the blades of grass, marveling at the complex architecture of a single leaf. This newfound wonder is my gift to you, a holy compensation for the trauma you endured. I am recalibrating your heart to beat in sync with the eternal. You are no longer hurried by the demands of a world that values speed over substance. You have seen the edge of the horizon, and you have returned with the knowledge that every second is a sacred deposit. Look at your hands. They may still carry the memory of the impact, perhaps a stiffness in the joints or a scar that catches the light, but they are hands that have been held by the King. They are hands that will now do work infused with a deeper meaning. When you speak to others who are hurting, your words will carry a weight of authority that only comes from the furnace of affliction. You are becoming a sanctuary for the weary. I am also working in the hidden places of your mind, the areas where the what-ifs and the why-me's gather like storm clouds. I am sweeping those clouds away with the breath of my spirit. When you wake at 3 in the morning, your heart racing with a phantom fear, I am the one sitting on the edge of your bed, bathing your room in a peace that defies human understanding. I am not asking you to forget. I am asking you to remember correctly. Remember not just the danger, but the rescue. Remember not just the breaking, but the mending. I am weaving a new narrative for you, one where the accident is not the defining chapter, but a powerful transition into a life of profound depth. You noticed recently how the colors of the sunset seem more vibrant, how the laughter of a stranger in the grocery store feels like a melody. This is your soul coming back online, more sensitive and more attuned to the beauty I have hidden in plain sight. I am your shield and your great reward. As you walk through the rooms of your home, know that my presence is the very air you breathe. I am in the floorboards beneath your feet and the ceiling above your head. There is no place you can go where I am not already waiting for you with a basin of water to wash your feet and a robe of righteousness to cover your shoulders. You are not just recovering, you are being reinvented. The old self, which lived in the illusion of its own control, died in that impact. The person who climbed out of the wreckage is someone new, someone who knows that their life is a borrowed breath, held in the palm of a loving God. Trust me with the parts of you that still feel broken. I am a master craftsman, and I never leave a project unfinished. Every ache you feel is a signal for me to draw closer, to pour in the oil of my comfort. You are my beloved, and in you I am well pleased. This journey of healing is not a solo trek. It is a walk through the valley where I am the shepherd, the guide, and the destination itself. Keep your eyes on mine. We are moving toward a horizon of hope that no tragedy can ever dim. The silence of this room is not empty. It is full of the words I have been waiting to speak to you. Think of the way the moonlight spills across your floor right now. It is a quiet light, one that doesn't demand attention, but simply exists to guide your way through the shadows. This is how my grace operates in your recovery. You might feel as though you are trapped in a slow-motion film, watching the world move on while you are tethered to this bed, this chair, this stillness. But look closer. In the stillness, the architecture of your soul is being reinforced. When the tires skidded and the world tilted on its axis, I was the gravity that kept your spirit from drifting into the void. I remember the smell of the ozone and the sharp scent of the pine trees lining that highway. I saw the way your breath caught, That single, sharp intake of air that was a prayer before you even knew how to pray. I didn't just pull you from the car. I pulled you from a life that had become too small for the destiny I have written for you. Do you recall that dream you had years ago, the one where you were standing by a wide, rushing river, afraid to cross? That river was this moment. And look, you are on the other side. You are wet, you are tired, and your feet are bruised, but you are here. Your family, those friends who sat in the waiting room with their heads bowed, they saw the miracle of your breathing, but I see the miracle of your becoming. Every time you close your eyes and the flash of the headlights returns, do not push it away. Hand it to me. Let me take the jagged edges of that memory and smooth them into sea glass. You are worried about the bills, the insurance, the broken glass that you still find in the folds of your jacket. Let those be reminders not of what was lost, but of what was spared. I have always known the rhythm of your heart, from its first flutter to the frantic beat it took when the glass shattered. I am knitting together more than just bone and sinew. I am knitting a new tapestry of purpose. You used to walk with a hurried step, eyes fixed on the pavement, chasing a clock that never stopped ticking. Now I have given you the gift of a slower pace. Notice the way the ivy climbs the wall outside your window. Notice the kindness in the voice of the nurse who checks your vitals. These are my messengers. Your life is no longer a series of accidents. It is a sequence of intentional breaths. I am teaching you the language of the now, the holy present that most people spend their entire lives trying to find. You found it in the middle of a wreck. You found it when the airbags deployed and the world went white. In that white space, we met, even if you don't fully remember the conversation yet. We spoke of things that the conscious mind cannot hold, of the ancient promises I made to your ancestors, and the way your life is the culmination of 1,000 answered prayers. Do you remember the old oak tree in the backyard of the house where you grew up? The one with the low-hanging branch that you used to sit on when the world felt too loud. I was the wind in those leaves, whispering secrets of a future you couldn't yet imagine. Even then, I was preparing you for the weight of this moment. I knew the day would come when the metal would scream and the asphalt would become a battlefield. I was there, not as a spectator, but as your shield. Think of the person you were just 5 minutes before the impact. You were worrying about a meeting, or perhaps what to cook for dinner, or a comment someone made that stung your pride. Where are those worries now? They have evaporated like mist in the morning sun, replaced by the stark, beautiful clarity of survival. This clarity is a gift, though it feels heavy right now. It is the ability to see what truly matters. Your life is not defined by the car you drive or the job you hold, but by the love you are capable of receiving and giving. I am peeling back the layers of your ego, much like the bark of a tree after a storm, to reveal the tender, living wood beneath. You feel vulnerable, yes. You feel as though anyone could reach out and bruise you further. But this vulnerability is where my power is most perfect. In your weakness, I am building a fortress. Do not be ashamed of the tears that come without warning when you hear a certain song or see a car that looks like yours. Those tears are the overflow of a soul that has been shaken awake. I am with you in the grocery store aisles when the crowds feel overwhelming, and I am with you in the middle of the night when the pain in your hip flares up and reminds you of the physics of the crash. I am the one who brings the memory of your grandmother's kitchen, the scent of cinnamon and the warmth of the stove, to soothe you when the cold, clinical air of the world feels too sharp. You are being refined, my child. The fire did not consume you. It only burned away the tethers that were keeping you from flying. You have questions about why it happened, about the if-onlys that haunt your sleep. Hear me now. There are no if-onlys in my kingdom. There is only I am. I am here in the aftermath just as I was there in the approach. The intersection where your life changed was a holy ground, a place where the physical and the eternal collided, and the eternal won. You are still here because my song for you has not yet reached its crescendo. There are people you haven't met yet whose lives will be changed because you survived. There are words you haven't spoken that will be the key to someone else's prison. Your recovery is not just about getting back to normal. It is about ascending to new. The normal you knew was a shadow. The new I am giving you is the substance. When you look at your hands, see them as my hands. When you speak, let your words be seasoned with the grace of one who has looked into the eyes of death and found life staring back. We are weaving a story together, you and I, and this chapter, the one with the sirens and the flashing lights, is not the ending. It is the profound turning point that makes the rest of the book worth reading. Lean into the pillows, let your muscles go slack, and listen to the rhythm of my heart beating in synchronization with yours. You are safe. You are held. You are cherished beyond measure. The night is thick outside your window, but here, in the amber glow of the monitors and the soft hum of the air filtration, there is a stillness that the world cannot understand. You feel the weight of the bandages, the heavy pull of exhaustion in your limbs, and the phantom sensation of the steering wheel still pressing against your palms. But I want you to look deeper than the physical. Do you remember the small garden you tried to plant 3 summers ago? You thought the frost had taken everything. You stood over the blackened sprouts and wept, thinking your effort was in vain. But I saw the roots reaching deep, drawing strength from the very soil that looked dead. That is what I am doing in you now. The impact that shattered the glass did not shatter your essence. It merely broke the container so that the light I placed within you could finally spill out. I was there in the microsecond between the screech of tires and the silence that followed. I was the whisper that told your heart to keep beating when the world told it to stop. I saw the way your mind flashed to your sister, to the unfinished letter on your desk, and to the dog waiting by the door. I held those thoughts for you, cradling them like precious jewels until you were ready to reclaim them. You often wondered if you were invisible in the crowded streets of your city, if your quiet life mattered amidst the roar of humanity. Let this moment be your answer. You are so visible to me that I counted every shard of glass and diverted them from where they would have done the most harm. Think back to the woman you saw at the grocery store last week, the one whose eyes were rimmed with red, who looked as though she was carrying the weight of the sky on her shoulders. You almost spoke to her, didn't you? You felt a tug in your spirit, a gentle nudge to offer a simple word of kindness, but you looked away, stifled by the normal that demanded you stay in your lane. That normal is gone now. In the new I am building within your ribcage, you will never look away again. You will have a frequency, a resonance that vibrates with the broken because you have been where they are. You will walk into rooms and people will feel a warmth they cannot name, unaware that they are standing in the radiance of a miracle. I am teaching you a new language, one that isn't found in books, but in the pauses between breaths. Your voice will soon carry the authority of the redeemed. When you tell someone that it will be okay, it won't be a hollow platitude. It will be a decree issued from the throne of experience. I see the fear that flickers in the back of your mind, the fear of the road, the fear of the sound of crunching metal, the fear that your body will never feel like home again. Let me soothe that. I am the great architect, and I am not merely repairing your walls. I am expanding the cathedral of your soul. The scars that will eventually fade into silver lines on your skin are not marks of shame. They are the embroidery of your survival. They are proof that the enemy aimed for your life and missed the mark because I was standing in the gap. Do you remember the old oak tree in your childhood backyard? The one with the branch that dipped low enough for you to swing on. You used to think that tree was invincible until the storm of '98 snapped its crown. You cried for it, but the next spring, the growth that emerged from the break was greener and more vibrant than anything that had come before. That is you. You are the tree that has survived the storm, and your new growth is about to begin. I am not in a hurry, and you shouldn't be either. The healing is a holy process. Every time the nurse checks your vitals, every time the IV drip clicks, it is a rhythm of grace. I am in the hands of the surgeons who worked with steady precision, and I am in the quiet prayers of the stranger who saw the accident and knelt on the pavement to intercede for a soul they didn't know. You are part of a vast, invisible tapestry of care. I want you to close your eyes and imagine the lives you will touch. Imagine the child who will look up at you 10 years from now and find the courage to keep going because they saw your strength. Imagine the weary traveler who will find shade under the branches of your wisdom. You are no longer just a person moving through time. You are a monument to my mercy. Rest now. Let the fear of the what-ifs dissolve into the certainty of I am. I am with you in the midnight watch. I am with you in the first light of dawn. I am the steady pulse in your wrist and the peace that passes all understanding. We have much to do, but for this hour, for this moment, your only task is to be loved. Can you do that for me? Can you simply exist in the ocean of my affection without trying to swim to the shore? The shore will be there when you are ready, but for now, the water is deep, and it is safe, and it is mine. Do you remember the afternoon the sky turned the color of a bruised plum, and the road stretched out like a ribbon of uncertainty? You were tired, the kind of exhaustion that settles deep into the marrow of your bones, and for a fleeting, terrifying moment, the world blurred into a haze of gray. You did not see the shadow looming from the side street, the heavy mass of steel and glass that was on a collision course with your fragile frame. But I saw. I have always seen. In that microsecond, where the laws of physics should have dictated a devastating ending, I folded the air around you. I became the invisible cushion between the impact and your breath. You felt a jolt, a sudden surge of lightning-hot adrenaline that forced your eyes wide and your hands to jerk the steering wheel with a strength that was not your own. But it was not your reflexes alone that guided you to the soft safety of the gravel shoulder. It was my grace, tangible and heavy, pressing against your chest like a shield. You sat there for a long time afterward, the engine ticking as it cooled, your heart a frantic bird beating against the cage of your ribs. You thought you were lucky. You thought it was a near miss, a stroke of random fortune. My child, there are no near misses in the architecture of my providence. There are only interventions. I was there in the silence that followed, in the way the sunlight suddenly broke through the clouds and caught the dust motes dancing on your dashboard. I was there in the stranger who pulled over to ask if you were all right, whose eyes held a flicker of my own eternal concern. You are so precious to me that I would move the very foundations of the earth to keep you on your path until your work is finished. And your work is not what the world tells you it is. It is not the spreadsheets, the chores, or the endless climbing of hollow ladders. Your work is the way you looked at that lonely man in the grocery store last week and gave him a smile that made him decide, just for one more day, that the world was not a cold place. Your work is the way you forgive yourself for the mistakes you think are unforgivable. I am weaving your survival into a grander story, one where every close call is a testament to a love that refuses to let go. Think of the lineage that would have ended if that metal had met its mark. Think of the laughter that would have been silenced in houses you have not even visited yet. I am the god of the narrow escape and the quiet rescue. I am the one who holds the steering wheel when your hands are trembling too much to grip it. Do you remember the smell of the pine air after that storm when you were young? The way the world felt washed clean and new. That is how I see you every morning. Not as a collection of errors or a series of accidents, but as a masterpiece under constant, vigilant protection. There is a specific kind of light that hits the back of your head when you sit by your window in the evening, thinking no one sees the weight you carry. I see it. I see the way you tuck your hair behind your ear when you are nervous, and the way you bite your lip when you are trying to be brave for everyone else. You do not have to be brave for me. You can be small. You can be fragile. You can be the one who needs saving. I take great delight in being your rescuer. It is my favorite role in your life. When the world feels fast and the dangers feel many, remember the intersection. Remember the hand that moved the wind. You are not a leaf blown about by the gales of fate. You are a seed I have planted in a garden I tend with infinite, aching patience. Even the thorns you encounter are within my sight, and I am using them to hedge you in, to keep you from wandering into the thickets where you might lose your way. Let the memory of that day, the day you almost did not come home, be a reminder that you are never, not for a single heartbeat, alone. I am the silence between your thoughts and the strength in your stride. I am the unseen passenger in every journey you take. We are going to places you cannot yet imagine, through valleys that will bloom simply because you walked through them, and over mountains that will bow at the mention of the name I have written on your heart. Think of the blue car that passed you right after that moment of danger. The driver did not know they were witnessing a miracle. They only saw a vehicle pulled over on the grass. But I saw the angels standing guard at your four corners. I saw the way the spiritual realm roared in defiance of the darkness that sought to claim you too soon. You are a sovereign territory of my kingdom, and I do not surrender what is mine. Think of the small, mundane things you would have missed. The taste of cold water on a parched throat. The sound of dry leaves skittering across the pavement in autumn. The way your favorite sweater feels against your skin on a winter morning. I saved you for those things, too. I saved you because I love the way you experience my creation. I love the way you look at a sunset and feel a tug of longing that you cannot quite name. That longing is me calling you home, but not yet. Not yet. There are seasons of harvest you have not seen. There are people who are currently walking in darkness, who will only find the light because you are going to be the one to carry the candle to them. You think you are ordinary, but to me, you are the focal point of a cosmic love story. Every time you drive now, when you feel that phantom chill of what could have been, let it be a trigger for gratitude rather than fear. Let it be the thing that makes you reach out and touch the bark of a tree, or hug a friend a little tighter, or look at your own reflection and say, I am a miracle. Because you are. You are a walking, breathing impossibility that I have made possible. I am in the details you overlook, the way the key turned in the lock tonight, the way your bed felt soft when you finally lay down. These are not just comforts, they are echoes of my care. I am the one who quieted the storm outside your window and the one who is currently quieting the storm inside your mind. The danger has passed, but the protection remains. It is an enduring shield. You do not have to earn it. You cannot lose it. It is as constant as the gravity that holds you to the earth, yet as light as the breath in your lungs. I am watching you now as you process these words, and I am smiling. I am smiling because you are beginning to understand that you are not a victim of circumstance, but a child of the Most High, destined for a glory that makes the sun look dim. We have miles to go, you and every one of them is paved with my mercy. Don't look back at the wreckage of your fears. Look forward at the horizon of my promises. There is a brightness there that will never fade, and it is all for you. It is all because I simply cannot imagine this world without you in it. You are my delight, my brave traveler, my beloved. Stay here in this peace. Let it soak into the places where the trauma of the almost still lingers. Let my voice be the balm that heals the invisible bruises on your soul. You are safe. You are held. You are mine. Remember the sound, not the roar of the engines or the screech of rubber against asphalt, but the silence that followed, the heavy, vibrating quiet where your heartbeat was the only drum in the world. In that fractional second when the steering wheel felt like a lead weight and the horizon tilted into a kaleidoscope of terror, I was the stillness inside the spin. You felt a hand on your shoulder, didn't you? Not a physical hand of bone and skin, but a weight of absolute peace that defied the physics of the moment. That was me. I was the bridge between the what if and the what is. I saw the way your eyes widened, reflecting the blinding glare of the oncoming lights, and I saw the prayers you didn't have time to speak, the wordless cries for mercy that have been echoing in your spirit since the day you were woven together in the secret place. You think it was luck that the tires gripped the pavement at the precise angle required to steer you clear of the abyss. You think it was a miracle of engineering that the metal held. But I tell you, it was my breath that filled the space between your car and the edge. It was my word that commanded the momentum to cease. I have been practicing for that moment since the dawn of time, orchestrating the 1,000 tiny variables that brought you to that intersection at that exact heartbeat, only to prove to you that your story is far from over. Do you remember the blue bicycle you had when you were 7? The one with the chipped paint on the left handlebar from the time you tried to ride down the steep hill behind your grandmother's house. You fell then, too, and you scraped your knees until they bled, crying out for a comfort you didn't think would come. Even then, I was the one who whispered courage into your small chest, prompting you to get up and walk toward the porch light. That same light is burning for you now. The trauma of the near miss wants to convince you that the world is a fragile place of shadows and sharp edges, but I am here to remind you that you are walking through a temple of my design. Every breath you take is a gift I have personally unwrapped for you. When you wake up in the middle of the night and your mind starts to replay the scene, the smell of burnt oil, the sudden jolt of adrenaline, the terrifying realization of how close the end felt, do not let the almost steal your now. Those flashbacks are not omens. They are reminders of a victory already won. I am sifting through the layers of your shock, smoothing out the jagged rhythms of your nervous system. I see the way you try to be strong for everyone else, how you hide the tremor in your hands when you reach for your keys, and how you find yourself staring out the window at nothing, wondering why you were spared. You were spared because there is a melody only your soul can sing, a specific frequency of kindness that this world desperately needs. I remember the secret dream you tucked away in the back of your heart 3 years ago, the one about the garden, the one about the book, the one about the child you wanted to help. That dream is not dead. It was protected in that car just as surely as your physical body was. We are not just surviving, you and I, we are prevailing. I want you to look at your hands, truly look at them. Notice the lines in your palms, the unique patterns of your skin. I know every one of them. I knew them before the foundations of the mountains were laid. Those hands were meant to hold more than just fear. They were meant to hold hope, to hold the hands of others who are walking through their own storms, and to hold the truth that you are never, ever alone. The road ahead may have its curves and its steep climbs, but I am the navigator who never loses the way. I am the light that pierces through the thickest fog. When the world tells you that you are lucky, I am whispering that you are loved. When the world says it was a coincidence, I am singing that it was a covenant. You are not a random collision of atoms in a chaotic universe. You are a deliberate masterpiece in the hands of a master. Let the tension drain from your neck. Let the tightness in your chest dissolve like salt in the sea. I am leaning close now, closer than your own thoughts. I am breathing my life into the places where the fear tried to settle. You might feel a warmth spreading through you, a strange and beautiful sense of being deeply, utterly known. That is my presence. It is the same presence that walked through the fire with the 3 Hebrew boys, the same presence that calmed the Galilean Sea with a single phrase. And now, it is the presence that sits in the passenger seat of your life. We are going to go back to that place of joy, the place where you can laugh without the shadow of the accident looming over you. It will take time, and I am the author of time, so do not rush the healing. Just stay here, tucked under the shadow of my wings. Listen to the rhythm of my grace. It is steadier than any heartbeat, surer than any sunrise. You are the apple of my eye, and I have set a hedge of protection around you that no force in this world can breach without my say-so. Rest now, my brave traveler. The night is passing, and the dawn we are heading toward is brighter than anything you have ever imagined. We are moving toward a place where almost is forgotten in the fullness of always. I am with you. I am for you. I am in love with the person you are becoming through every trial and every triumph. The road is open, and I am holding the map. Look at the palms of your hands, those steady instruments of your will, and see how they rest now, no longer white-knuckled and trembling against the wheel. In that fraction of a second when the world turned into a roar of colliding forces, and the physics of the earth seemed to buckle, I was the stillness at the very center of the storm. You felt the jolt, the sudden and violent displacement of your reality, but you did not feel the full, lethal weight of the blow because I stood as the living buffer between you and the void. I was the tension in the seatbelt that held you fast, the structural integrity of the frame that refused to yield completely, and the very breath that stayed in your lungs when the world tried to knock it out. You remember the smell of the ozone and the acrid, white scent of the airbags, a sensory overload that felt like the closing of a door. But it was merely the threshold of a miracle. I watched the way your eyes searched for a familiar anchor in the swirling chaos, and I placed my piece there, a quiet, resonant "I am" that whispered through the piercing ringing in your ears. You are not here today by chance, nor by the mere luck of a well-timed break or the angle of an impact. You are here because I wove a protective web of light around that metal shell, turning what should have been a tragedy into a sacred transition. Think of all the things you might have missed if I had not been there to catch the momentum. The smell of cedar after a heavy summer rain, the way the golden light hits your kitchen floor at 4 in the afternoon, the specific, crooked smile of the person who calls you friend. All these moments were preserved in the amber of my mercy. As you move forward, the hum of an engine might occasionally sound like an echo of that afternoon, and your heart might skip a beat when a car merges too quickly into your lane. In those moments, do not let the ghost of the accident steal your breath. Instead, let it be a reminder of the unseen shield that never leaves your side. I am in every detail of your recovery, from the slow, miraculous knitting together of muscles to the quiet mending of the nerves that fire with phantom alarms. I am the one who sits with you in the deep middle of the night when the what-ifs come knocking like unwanted guests. I tell them they have no room here, for this house is built on the rock of my grace. You are discovering a strength you never knew you possessed, a resilience that isn't born of your own effort, but is a reflection of the eternal life dwelling within you. I see the way you look at the sky now, with an intensity that speaks of a soul that has touched the edge of the veil and returned. That depth is a gift I have entrusted to you. Use it. Speak to those who are trembling in their own private wrecks, whether of the body or the heart. Tell them of the hands that catch, the voice that calms, and the love that never fails. Your life is a living letter, written with the ink of deliverance. I am taking the fragments of your fear and refining them into the gold of wisdom. Do you remember the old swing set in the backyard of your childhood, how the chains would creak, and you felt for a moment like you could touch the clouds? I was there then, and I am here now, providing that same safety, only now the stakes are higher and my grip is even tighter. We are moving toward a place where your testimony will be a lighthouse for the lost. Do not mourn the version of yourself that existed before the impact. That person was meant to grow, and this fire has only accelerated the refining process of your spirit. You are becoming someone who knows the true, staggering value of a single, quiet breath. You are becoming a vessel of a peace that passes all understanding, because you have stood in the place where human understanding failed, and only my presence remained. Rest your head against the headrest of my promises tonight. I do not slumber so you can. I am standing guard over your dreams just as I stood guard over that intersection. When you wake, look at the sunrise and know that it is a personal invitation from me to live fully, to love deeply, and to trust that the one who held the car in his hands holds your entire universe. We are walking together into a future where the fear of the open road is replaced by the joy of the journey. You are safe. You are cherished. You are mine, forever and always, beyond the reach of any harm that does not first pass through my hands of love. Consider the coffee cup you held this morning, the steam rising in delicate, translucent curls. That simple warmth is a witness to the continuity of your existence, a mundane miracle I have preserved for you. I was there in the sterile hospital hallway when the fluorescent lights felt too bright, and the silence of the waiting room was heavy with unspoken prayers. I moved the hearts of the doctors, guided the hands of the nurses, and whispered comfort to the friends who paced the floors on your behalf. You are the center of a vast network of love, a tapestry of connections that I have intentionally woven. When you think of the car, the twisted metal that once held you, do not see it as a tomb that almost claimed you, but as a shell that was discarded when its purpose was done. You are the pearl that was saved. I am teaching you a new way to listen, not to the cacophony of the world's anxieties, but to the low, steady frequency of my spirit. It is the sound of the wind in the pines, the gentle lap of water against a shore, the silence between your thoughts where I dwell. You are learning that your fragility is not a weakness, but a doorway through which my power is made perfect. When you feel the impulse to rush back into the noise, to prove to everyone that you are fine, stop and breathe. It is okay to be changed. It is okay to carry the weight of the miracle with a quiet, holy reverence. I am not asking you to be the same as you were. I am inviting you to be more than you ever imagined. We are building a sanctuary out of the debris. Every moment of gratitude you offer up is a stone in that temple. Look at the people in your life through the lens of this new clarity. See the preciousness in the mundane, the grocery lists, the carpools, the morning commutes. None of it is trivial when you realize how tenderly I hold it all in place. I am the architect of your days, and I have surveyed the terrain ahead. There are peaks of joy you have yet to climb, and valleys of service you are now uniquely equipped to navigate. You will find that your words now have a weight they lacked before, a resonance that comes from having walked through the valley of the shadow and found that the shadow was only the shade of my wings. Trust the process of the mending. Your spirit is being reinforced with a celestial silver. You are a work of art in progress, and the artist is deeply, passionately invested in every brushstroke. There is no distance I will not travel to find you, no wreckage I will not reach into to pull you out. You are the focus of my affection, the target of my relentless grace. Take another step, then another. The pavement beneath your feet is solid because I make it so. The air in your lungs is sweet because I have purified it. The future is bright because I am already there, waiting for you with open arms and a smile that will wipe away every tear. You are more than a survivor. You are a conqueror through him who loves you. Go now, into the beauty of the day I have made specifically for you, and remember that every mile we travel together is a mile closer to the fullness of my glory.